cannot do. I must do, or I have done the things that I think I cannot do. Such as facing Mr. Jackson when I knew that I had done something I should not have done. Or I shot the ball when Coach Starnes told me to pass the ball. Or I just dropped a pass and had to go back to the sideline and face the coach. Or Ms. Cobb told me not to go down those steps and peek in the boys' gym, which I did, only to look in the door and face the imposing glares and stares of Coach Bradley or yours truly. Self-discipline. An interviewer once said to jazz saxophonist Charlie Parker, "You do amazing things on the saxophone, Mr. Parker." Parker replied, "I don't know about amazing. I practiced for 15 hours a day for many years. It is difficult to infer from the results of serious endeavors the time and effort it took to develop the skills that went into his becoming a world-class performer. Yet, achievement is as dependent upon patience, practice, and internal motivation as it is upon inspiration and talent. This is especially equally true for developing moral dimension, for controlling your temper. I know you. I've looked in your faces a many times through the years, and I know that you've had a temper. I know that you still have a temper. But there's one thing that you have learned how to do, and that is control that temper. I'm reminded of a young man who was a good little basketball player. And he did something, I don't know what it was now, but he knew what was coming. And he broke out from the back of the screen back there, you know, where the boys showered. "I ain't gonna take no whipping." And he ran out the door, ran through the gym, ran out the front door. About 30 minutes later, Mr. Jackson called me to the office. "Coach Fair, the lady wants to see you. Got her son with her." I didn't know what to expect. She came in pulling that boy in there. She said, "Now you apologize to Coach Fair." Many of you remember John Roberts. Johnny Boy, we call him. And she said, "Coach Fair, you take him on back over wherever you're going to take him and give him what you're going to give him before he came out here." I said, "Well, Johnny Boy, you got it coming." And I did. I laid it on. But you know what? I never had another bit of trouble out of Johnny Boy. He went on through school and got out. What I'm trying to tell you is that sometimes you have to do for youngsters what you don't really want to do, but what you know has to be done. Particularly boys, because they will try your soul. Now girls have their way of trying you too. They do it in a much nicer, softer, creamier way. But as parents, we learn that we must deal with both equally, fairly, and justly. Because we are developing their what? Their character. Developing their character. My children and grandchildren are in Houston. And cutest little things, I just love them. You know how grandparents are. And that little girl, she's 8 months old, she just looks. That little boy is becoming a handful. And his mama left him upstairs with me, and he was kind of getting the best of me. I said, all right. Now he's 2. I said, okay, now Granddad's going to have to get his belt out. And so when his mama came up, she said, Daddy, did you have any trouble? I said, no, I didn't have any trouble because I threatened him with getting the belt out for him. She said, oh, we don't use the belt. I said, well, to myself, you're going to have some time. I'm not saying that corporal punishment is the end to all ends, but it certainly helps. Achievement, selfless. Think before you speak or act. Self-discipline is a source of inner strength. Integrity. The actress Ethel Barrymore of the famed Barrymore family in the world of stage and film is reported to have said, you must learn day by day and year by year to broaden your horizon. The more things you love, the more things that you are interested in, the more things you enjoy, the more things you are indignant about, the more things you have left when something happens. It is not easy to simply and consistently be one's self. Integrity is a complete coming together of decent values and actions. This guy was born, but he was just a head. So he went to a witch doctor, and he said, I don't want to be just a head. The witch doctor put up his hand and said, oh, and turned him into a hand. Then the guy ran around hollering, I don't want to be a hand. The moral is you should have quit when you were here. The discovery of one's deepest sense and of one's deepest self is often accompanied by a discovery of one's roots. And the unexpected inner strength that can come and will draw upon from family and friends. Part of what you're doing now is drawing upon your family, your friends, and your classmates, who I'm sure that most of you have found those to be lifelong companions. Family, friends, classmates. Creativity, the ability to be creative, to raise new questions, develop new ideas and solutions, to make something out of nothing is a gift that some human beings have. Many, if not most, if not all of your teachers at Cameron High School had that ability to make something out of what was then nothing. Taking that a little further, at the core of this gift is the imagination, the capacity to think and dream things that never were or never will be. This is what you had in the faculty of Cameron High School. Those were the kind of people who molded your destinies, and those were the kind of people that helped shape your futures and helped to develop your imagination to the point that you knew that you were somebody and you had the potential to be somebody more than what you were, to make you know that you were God's child and God didn't make no trash. The imagination that was, that is, and must always be ours. For our imagination teaches us our limits and then how to grow beyond those limits. The imagination says to me, I am your darkest voice. I am your 4 a.m. voice. I am the voice that wakes you up and says, this is what I am afraid of. Do not listen to me at your peril. The imagination is a noon voice that clearly states and says, yes, this is what I want to do with my life. This is what I want to be in my life. It's there to sort out your nightmare, to transform that nightmare into dreams, to become your bedrock. The imagination is not our escape. On the contrary, the imagination is the place where you all are trying to reach. Then in finality, there is love. God is love, and he leaves and loves each and every one of us. 1 Corinthians 13:11-13 reads, when I was a child, I spoke like a child, I reasoned like a child, and I became adult. I put an end to childish ways. For now we see in a mirror, dimly, but then we see face to face. Now I know only in part. Then I will know fully, even as I have been known fully. And now faith, hope, and love abide. These three, and the greatest of these is love. Thank you for what you have done. You. And we thank God for guiding us along the way and leaving your footprints, leaving his footprints for us to follow. I add this as an epilogue. The play has ended, but the memories linger on. The curtains are closed. The lights are dim. And now we await the final curtain. Hail to dear Cameron, school that we love. Thank you for remembering.